For the last few months, Microsoft has been doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on the AI revolution in any way it can. Its integration of ChatGPT into Bing, the $10 billion investment they made into OpenAI back in 2023. Also, Microsoft is entitled to up to 49% of the for-profit arm of OpenAI. That doesn't mean they own it, but they're good friends. And listen, I don't need to tell you already that the speed of how all of this is developed has raised a lot of concerns for a lot of people. There are a plethora of critiques on AI, as well as support for AI being a tool that will enhance humans' lives. You know the debate well, but it all got muddied this week when Microsoft announced a new feature for Windows 11 called Recall. Recall is a new feature coming to Windows 11 that's going to be included in Microsoft's Copilot Plus suite of AI tools. And essentially what the feature does is it has the computer take constant snapshots of what you're doing at the time on your PC, what programs you have open, what websites you're browsing, and it stores them in an archive to essentially create a history of what your activity has been on your computer that's searchable to you. So if there's a website you saw a few months ago and you want to go back to it, you can immediately look it up. And when you find the snapshot, Recall is supposed to be able to recreate that state of your computer at any time. Think of it as a super advanced version of System Restore, or at least that's what I think Microsoft thought they were pitching to everybody. That being said, I think taking snapshots of everyone's PC every few seconds and storing them in an archive is a terrifying privacy nightmare, which is exactly how it came off. Because yes, if you've ever had a Windows PC, or honestly any computer, there are times where your computer just starts acting weird and you hope to God that it has a state it was in before, or sometimes something you found on your PC or a website you don't know how to get back to and you wish you could just, oh, what was it I was looking at the other day? All of that is useful until it's not, when it's terrifying and falls into the hands of bad faith actors. And listen, this immediately sparked backlash. Tons of people are like, what the fuck? This seems like an insane privacy nightmare. Not even talking about the bloatware you'll get on laptops in general or what devices are sending information. Microsoft responded to all this by saying that, listen, all of the snapshots that are taken by Recall will only be stored on the local person's PC. Microsoft's not going to keep any of those in the cloud. In fact, none of those even reach the cloud or Microsoft at all. They're all encrypted, stored locally on your PC at all times. And you can tell the program to delete certain things, to not monitor certain apps, and IT professionals can't disable Recall altogether. Although I will say that after this backlash, I'm pretty sure Microsoft is going to bake that feature in some way, shape, and or form just to cover their bases. But listen, even if Recall doesn't share those snapshots with other users, even if Microsoft has no access to them and is not allowed to see those snapshots or use them for any targeted advertisement, that is a good thing. We still live in 2024 where there are tons of data breaches all of the time, where information privacy is a huge debate, and where our machines are asking us stuff like, hey, do you want us to share diagnostics about a machine? Is this part of diagnostics? This isn't the 50s anymore where you have to only worry about criminals breaking in and stealing things from your safe. You have to worry about data thieves. That is a serious issue in 2024. People get shit stolen from them all the time. It is scary. And listen, I'm not trying to give you a scared straight so you look over your shoulder for some creepy guy with a laptop outside of your house. I'm just saying, having a history of what websites you've been to and what stuff you're looking at on your computer in an archive can be scary. And even if it's encrypted, that doesn't mean it's uncrackable. And those are just bad faith actors. Think about governments. And I don't want us to get too tinfoil hat here, but the US and multiple other governments have dozens of surveillance programs for searching or accessing your computer and interpreting that information how they will in a very imperfect political environment. And look, this is not the only major AI innovation that's come out in the last 2-3 weeks. Google has recently integrated AI into their search engine in general, and that has yielded very mixed results. I can tell you from using it for a little bit, yeah, it's actually sped up a few things, but at the same time, it's told users that they should drink pee, and a lot of times it feels like it's scrubbing information from other sites and just presenting it, which Google already did, which already it had a bunch of controversies for. But also, the AI is pulling information from multiple different sites to create its overall answer, which kind of hurts the sites you're searching for, doesn't it? And no, you think that's the only bad AI news. Guess what? We have more bad AI news. Scarlett Johansson's voice was stolen. I'm sorry, not stolen. imitated, I'm sorry, not imitated, strongly hinted at being imitated or stolen by the creator of ChatGPT after a meeting with Scarlett Johansson when she was like, no, I don't want you to use my voice. And then after it launched, the creator going, hey, are you sure? Can we please? And now the voice has been taken down because look, Scarlett's like, I already starred in her. I don't want to make it a reality. Do you not see the fucking point of that movie? And she wants an investigation into it. This is what I'm trying to make the video about. There are obviously serious issues with AI in terms of content theft, job displacement and disruption, privacy, and the ability for people to function. Like, look, there are a ton of debates about that going on. And like I said, there are many people who tout AI's positives, which are positive. There are benefits. Here's the issue though. And irregardless, it's going too fast, which is reckless. People tend to constantly send me things about AI music when it happens, right? If you don't know, music has been dipping its toes into AI for fucking years now. You remember the Drake diss track where he used Tupac's voice on the AI? That's been available before ChatGPT. That's been available for a while now. There was a plugin that lets you sound like Kendrick or like A$AP Rocky. Like, I remember those plugins coming out. But every time somebody sends me something from Suno or anything like that, I'm not necessarily scared because that algorithm is trying to do something that's fundamentally not how music works. The value benefits of what it could be aren't necessarily compatible with the industry it's trying to replace. So I'm not necessarily worried about that, even though there are some concerns. Like if you extrapolate it, and I'm trying to be open-minded, that's not what worries me. What worries me is people doubling and tripling and quadrupling down on this technology because they think it's the gold rush and making stupid mistakes that fuck a lot of people over and create a more dangerous precedent for the world where none of the benefits of AI exist. People lose jobs or information or privacy or vocations or things are stolen. And all of a sudden things are way more unstable, far more reckless with no guardrails. And if you know what this sounds like, it sounds like fucking NFTs. And ironically, a lot of the proponents of AI are NFT bros. And listen, I don't want to compare them entirely because these are two different things, but it's very clear that the culture from NFTs of just rock it off, right, is pervading into AI, which is significant. It's not fake. It's very real. All of the dangers and the benefits of it are absolutely real. But when you are given like a magic car and it can do it can cook you breakfast, it can fly, it can do everything, and you just step on the gas and just go, look at how fast I can go, you're gonna fucking crash because you haven't learned this car yet. You don't know what the dangers of it are. You don't know what the benefits of it are. That's the thing. I'm not even advocating for AI. There are AI music programs that I think are actual legitimate tools that you can use that are helpful, that don't displace musicians. Musicians have to deal with all the shitty things like earlier than everybody else because our industry is so fucked up. But even with that, it is still really scary how quickly people can recreate other people's voices without their consent. It's scary that that culture is just continuing. It's terrifying to watch companies try to replace large swaths of people with AI to do the work, only to have less efficient products, less safe environments, and whatever value or actual place that that product had that was really important to society is now completely unstable. And it leads to a domino effect of all these other issues. And again, there's good news and bad news to that. Good news is if AI keeps going and fucking up like NFTs did, it's not going to be around too long. There's been a ton of disruptive technologies that were actually really scary that had the same kind of like fear, like, oh my God, this is happening, that AI is having right now, that kind of slowed down and died and became money pits that didn't work out very well. But a lot of people got hurt in their wake. And the reason I'm bringing up this Microsoft thing is that this is an example of that. I actually think there are really good intentions behind the idea of having your PC independently of everything, be able to recall what you've done on it so you can have a more efficient work-life and workspace balance. But it is irresponsible to bring that product to life currently in the environment we are in without more stringent safety protocols, especially on Windows. It's like saying, hey, it's dark out. We need a campfire. We're in the woods. And then Microsoft, your buddy, going, hey, I got you, bro. And then lighting a tree on fire. Yeah, that's a bit of a fucking problem versus gathering firewood, thinking about the environment you're in, and yeah, it's not the biggest fire ever, but it's gonna keep you warm, and you won't burn the fucking forest down that you're missing for the trees. The backlash to this, I think is a good thing. It's a good example. It's people going, this is a privacy nightmare. Figure out what the fuck you're doing. The backlash to Google's AI thing is also important. Because if people don't like the feature, Google will gut it. Like the other millions of features Google goes gung-ho about and then goes, yeah, this is a fucking bad idea. But the reality isn't like, oh, robots do all of our jobs anymore. There's multiple different realities that we have. There's realities where robots do our jobs poorly and we all eventually go back to work, but we have to fix a bunch of damage and problems that we've had to deal with over these last few years. And there's also a version of this where all of these companies run into a glass door and are like, oh, that hurt. And we decide to move a little bit slower down this line. And we identify problems. We try to figure out what's the best way to make sure this doesn't hurt workers and other people. I don't think it's going to be a perfect world like that. It'll probably be a mix of the two. There's probably going to be damage that we have to fix, but there's other things that we can fix and mitigate against. So listen, I know it's scary, but don't be doom and gloom about AI. The world has not ended yet, but take this shit seriously. Because again, when you have a magic car, learn how to fucking drive it first. And also, don't use it to make hands and weird gauge. What the fuck is wrong with these fucking things? Anyway, that's our show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, no freestyle of the news this Sunday. I'm going to be at Combo Breaker. If you see me there, say hi. We're also releasing a project along with this tournament. Very, very excited for that. But anyway, thank you so much. My name is Tabani. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see y'all soon. Let's go.